Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. Before we jump into today's episode, I don't want to forget to tell you, so I'll go ahead and tell you now, but I am going to be out next week, going out of town. So I'm going to take the week off of doing the podcast. So you'll get an episode when you're hearing this, it should be Friday, June 23rd, but next week I think is the 30th. We'll be taking a week break. So just wanted to tell you that. So let's go ahead and get into our topic. So, um, I was thinking about, you hear people talk about like, I need to get out of my own head or I'm in my own head. And I was just thinking about what that means and how it really affects us. And so, when I think of someone saying that they're in their own head, that to me means they're thinking a lot and they can't stop thinking about something and going through it over and over in their head and just either the thought is on repeat or it's a lot of different things that are overlapping and lots of different thoughts that are getting in kind of on top of each other, and so then you end up feeling that kind of overwhelmed and that feeling of just having a lot of noise and it's really loud in your head and you just can't set it straight and you can't calm it down. So that's one way that I look at it. But then the other way I look at it is just kind of finding an obstacle in our brains that usually ends up being ourselves, right? So if I'm thinking about doing something and I feel overwhelmed because there are a lot of things I have to do, then that's that, having too much going on. But if there's something I want to do and there really isn't a lot that goes with it, but I have an insecurity about it, maybe I don't feel confident that I'm capable, or maybe I'm worried something is going to happen that's going to make me fail or not be successful, then I'm creating an obstacle for myself in the form of my thoughts. And so both of these things they're similar, right? It's still the idea of having a lot that's going on in your head and a lot to think about. But the way that it plays out can be a little bit different. When you have a lot in your mind that is overwhelming you, sometimes you can just sit down, organize it, talk it out with someone, write it down, make a list, and then before you know it, you're on your way to doing the things that you need to do, and the overwhelm just kind of goes away. But when we're talking about this idea of our thoughts or our insecurities or our worries becoming our obstacles, those are a little different because, yeah, you could sit down and really put it to a plan and a schedule and a task list, and then you can get it done. But what I've found in working with people is that is actually more difficult to overcome because it's not usually as simple as I just have a lot on my plate and a lot I'm thinking about. It's usually something a little bit more detailed or deeper, an issue that is rooted a little bit more deeply. And a lot of the times it is fear or some kind of hesitation or insecurity. And so I want to kind of focus a little bit on that. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because throughout life, we all have things that we want to change about life, whether it's a new adventure we want to take in our professional life, or maybe something new in a relationship, or any kind of growth, then it usually has to be something that we consider, right? Sometimes we stumble on things and it's like, oh, wow, this opportunity just came out of nowhere and I'm going to run with it. But most of the time, we have to think about what we want to do and then we have to find a way to do it. And with thinking about how to do it, we have to consider lots of different things. And it's so easy to feel scared because doing something new or big or exciting or a change of some sort usually comes with some form of unknown or something that we maybe just haven't we just don't feel confident that we would be good at. I mean, there's just so many reasons that change can be hard. We've talked about that before I've talked to you about that in previous episodes. But this idea of getting in my head and being in my way, being in my own way, is something that I think a lot of us can relate to. It's this idea that I have this thing that I want to do, but I'm so nervous about doing it that I just don't know that I'm going to do it. I can't stop thinking about how it's supposed to be done. What if I mess it up? What if I embarrass myself? What if I fail? What if someone judges me? Just so many aspects of the fear and the insecurity can creep up. And then that's it. You've created an obstacle. You get in your own way. And there's probably no reason for this obstacle to even exist. There's no evidence to suggest that you would not succeed at this thing. But if you worry about it enough, if you think about it enough in a negative way, then you create the obstacle, and whether you have evidence for it or not, it doesn't matter. You've already convinced yourself that maybe you're not capable of it. Or you think you might be capable, but you're worried that someone will judge you, or that you're worried that someone will think, or something will come along that'll get in the way. And that's scary, right? To invest something of yourself, whether it's your energy, your time, your money, just effort, to invest that into something and then have that fear that it might not work out. That's a big risk. But we have to take risks, and don't do anything that you shouldn't be doing and make something, an unhealthy decision, or frankly a stupid decision that's not smart. But when you take calculated risks and you really think about how to do something and if you should do something, you do have a certain amount of risk, or a leap of faith, or whatever you want to call it. So as I bring this topic to you, I posted on social media the other day and sent an email, but I'm in the process of starting this new business. So I have my counseling practice that I started, I don't know, 5 years ago maybe, and I've built it, and I've added, hired therapists, and we've grown, and I love it, and it's so much fun. But I'm starting this new business that is different from counseling, but it's still this. There's parts of it that I'm very confident in myself about, but there are parts of it that I'm not. I don't know. I've never done it before. There's a risk involved, and I had to invest some time and energy and money and things, because I believe that it's going to be something that's going to benefit me and my family long term. But I have to overcome some of the fears that come along with that. And I have a really good friend of mine that's doing something similar, independently of me, but we're kind of walking through this together. And she is also very experiencing more fear than I am, because this is a little bit more of a first business, whereas this is my second business. And so there's just a different whatever that goes with it. But as we talk, I've been really thinking about how scared she is. And I look at her and I'm like, what is this woman scared of? She's got everything that it takes to do this. She's skilled in the right ways, smart in the right ways, responsible in the right ways, but she doesn't see that the way that I do. And other people who know her see that she's capable. But the way you see yourself, or the way that you think about something, and you weigh maybe past experiences and successes and failures and hardships, obstacles, all of that, when you take that into consideration for yourself, it's really easy to get distracted by what you know to be true. So she knows she's capable, but she also has these things that play out in her mind that make her question herself. And she doesn't know I'm using her as an example today. And when she hears this, we'll see how she feels. But I'm not telling you who she is, so that's okay. But I want her to hear this, and I want you to hear this, because so many of the people that I talk to, whether it's my clients or my family or my friends, there's so many people that I know who have this potential to do something bigger and better, and that next step in their life, whether it's a business venture or the next step in just growing in their lives or anything. But those people, so many of those people just don't believe in themselves, and there's no reason not to. There's no failure in this category in their history, and so there's no reason why they shouldn't be successful. And again, everything that's worth doing is going to have some struggle to it, or some work that goes with it, and some extent of risk or leap of faith. So I'm kind of like in this mindset of, why are you holding yourself back? I don't know if you, as you're listening to this, I don't know if you have something like that in you, something that you've wanted to do, something that you've wanted to start, even if it's like a workout routine, or a different way of eating, or a friendship that you're trying to make or build, or a relationship you want to advance to that next level. Whatever it is, do you have something like that exists in your life that you can say, I just get in my own way, I get in my head about it, And when I get in my head, I can't see past this fear. I can't see past this hesitation. And if that is true for you, if you hear me say that and it just resonates a little bit or a lot, then I want you to really stop and think about why. What is that thing that holds you back? Is it one thing? Is it many things? And then who is it in your life that you can share that with who will be a better judge of your situation? Someone that knows you, whether they know you professionally or personally or both, or just can see how your character traits and your responsibility and your personality, all of that, they maybe can look at that and be like, well, of course you can do that. Here's how I can help you. Or why don't, what do you need from me? Can I just encourage you? Can I support you? Do you have your, for lack of a better word, your cheerleader? Someone that will look at you and say, well, why not? Why can't you do that? For me, that usually tends to be my husband, some of my really close friends, my best friend Jenny. Just, well, why not? Of course you can do this. And I can, I'd like to think of myself as a fairly confident person, but that it's not steady all of the time. There are lots of things that I do where I don't feel 100% confident or as confident as I want to be. I mean, I was in a training last week, a virtual training, and I was messaging my friend Jenny and just like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this part of it that makes me really nervous. What if people judge me? And she was just like, of course you can do it. Stop that. Like, she just had to tell me, yes, 100%. And here's how you're going to do it. And here's how I'm going to help you. Even though, she may not even know all that goes into it, but she knows me enough to know that when it comes to these things, if I don't know how to do it, I will practice and I will learn and I will get better. And so, and it's the same with my husband. He's, go, of course you can do this. And that's how I started this practice. I was needing to make a change in where I was professionally, but I didn't know where to go. I had this dream and not a single ounce of confidence in myself that I could do it, because it just seemed like it was this, it required things that I didn't have and didn't know how to do. And he just said, well, what does it take? Of course you can do it. Why can't you do it? Show me what it takes. And so he just kind of gave me that push and that encouragement. And here we are. And so, again, it took a lot of hard work, but life's not easy. If you want it to be easy, then you're not going to do anything. If you're only going to move when things are easy, you will be stuck forever. And I'm lucky because I have a lot of supportive friends. I have a lot of encouraging people in my life. And I recognize that not everyone has that. And so if you don't have that person, well, first of all, if you have those people or that person, please call them, reach out to them. Don't be scared to ask for help. You've heard me talk about that. Ask for help, ask for support. Get someone who's going to hold you accountable or just encourage you. But if you don't have that, that doesn't mean that you can't do the things that you want to do. That doesn't mean that you can't build that confidence within yourself. Sometimes hearing other people's stories, and there's no shortage of access to stories, right? Just get on your whatever podcast platform you use and find a podcast about, starting a business or, rags to riches, whatever you want to call it, something, overcoming a fear. And then you'll hear other people's stories and how they've overcome that and how they've found the avenue to really pursue whatever it is that they wanted to pursue. So if you have support, seek it out. If you don't have support, build yourself up. Make yourself your support. Believe in yourself. Look at your accomplishments and the things that you know how to do. And if you don't know how to do it, learn. Most of the things that come with doing this, running my business, my practice, this podcast, I didn't know how to do any of it other than just talking to people. I had to learn how to file insurance and how to manage finances in a business, how to, just bill insurance claims. I mean, I had to learn how to manage software for a podcast and how to edit audio. Like, there's nothing in me that is good at technology, so that's a big thing. But I've learned, and it's not perfect, but I keep learning and seeking things out. And so you don't have to have the skills to do the thing. You just have to have the desire to learn the skills. And with the age of the internet, there's really nothing you can't learn. I mean, YouTube, that's all it takes, right? So I'm your cheerleader, I guess. You got to do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, sit down, start making some lists of what that is and what you want it to look like, and then be very honest with yourself about whether you're in your way or not. There's no reason there's no reason that you can't do the things that you want to do. Obviously, realistically, if your goal is to retire at the age of 30 and stop working, that's probably not a realistic goal. But if you want to work at building something, creating something, there's no reason why you can't do that. First step is to do the research. So basically, until you've done the research and figured out how to do it, you can't decide if you can do it or not. You can't make that determination that you're not capable if you haven't even considered or looked into and identified all the steps that it would take. So I don't want to hear it. If you haven't done the work to figure out if you're capable of doing it, I don't want to hear that you can't. It's just, that's a kind of easy way out. That's you quitting and just not making any effort, but then hiding behind that as some kind of true answer when it's not. So whatever it is that you want to do, please look into it. Please try to take a leap of faith. Take the time to look into it. Don't make any decisions that aren't right for you. Don't jump into something before you're ready, but take the first step and get out of your own way and get out of your own head and find that support. And if you don't have someone, a lot of times you find social groups on Facebook or LinkedIn, just groups of people who are trying to do what you're doing, and then you can build support that way and find other people who have done it before you or are going through it at the same time. So reach out to whoever, get it going. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I hope this motivates you to do whatever it is the next thing that you want to do or work towards. And I will not have an episode for you next week. I will see you in 2 weeks. So the week of, I think that's maybe July 7th. July 7th. All right. Have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you later. Bye.